Good morning. It is 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, and check out these dramatic, stunning images that are now coming into us. A sidewalk being overcome and falling into Crystal Lake on the north side. Some of the stunning images really developing here in just the last half hour as communities are being hit very hard by flash flooding. So this is Crystal River Drive in Fishers, east of Keystone of the Crossing. The road there collapsing because of the rushing water.
And it's really not just that spot that we're watching right now. So many areas here in central Indiana, Marion County under a flash flood warning. We've seen it coming in, and we know that is our main story this morning. Lindsay, you have so many spots to hit, but we want to make sure that we get to all of them, but also focusing on what's going on right now. Thank you so much for sticking with us. I'm Anna Chalker alongside Anne-Marie Tiernan. Lindsay, we just got to toss it to you. That's how the day's rolling with us.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting so much information in from new road closures, and because it's ongoing as we speak. It's a combination of the river, the White River now starting to crest downstream from Noblesville, in combination with this additional rainfall that's out there right now. So I wanted to start with that, the radar right now, and some new flash flood warnings that have just been put out from the National Weather Service. I did want to mention that Marion County is not actively under a flash flood warning. We are under flood warnings, of course, along the rivers and our local waterways, and then a aerial flood watch. So we'll have to watch that. However, the newest flash flood warning has now just been issued as anticipated for Delaware County and then down into Henry County. That's been extended through noon today as the leading edge of this next round of some heavy rain moves into that area as we speak. Heavy rainfall in the Anderson area. Flash flood warning in effect for Madison County until 1:15, and then active in Hamilton up to Tipton counties until 12:30. We'll put this into motion over the past hour. You can see the progression of this whole complex as it's been moving from west to east, and still back building to our west. Notice this across central Illinois. This is basically round two that's set up across the western tier of the state. This is moving off. So basically this has broken itself off into two distinct waves of heavy rain. This initial one, again, moving into Muncie as we speak, eventually into Newcastle. And then that secondary round starting to impact places like Crawfordsville, certainly over into Rockville, Park County, and then up into the Lafayette area. Steady rainfall still back into central Illinois as this whole system rides along the stationary boundary that is now set up between Illinois and Indiana. A busy morning with that heavy rain. We'd likely start to see that wrap up here as we get you into the next couple of hours. And it does look like the Storm Prediction Center just a few moments ago changing up their outlook for today. So they have dropped a good portion of northeastern Indiana out of this level 2 zone. So this is actually some good news. We're watching now southeastern Indiana, that level 2 risk zone. However, for everybody, the primary threat that we're going to be watching out for is the fact that we do not need, nor can we take additional rainfall at this point. So we still have a level 3 of 4 excessive rain outlook in effect for Richmond and Muncie and Kokomo. So the potential of some ongoing, not only river flooding and flooding along low-lying locations in our local waterways, but just in general flooding across the area. So let's walk you through the timeline here. As it looks like this initial round of some heavier rain is going to move into the Richmond-Muncie area as we get closer to that lunch hour. Then that moves out. And then we're going to see a nice lull in some rainfall. Watching still, again, the eastern tier of the state for the risk that we might see a storm that does reach severe limits with the potential of damaging wind gusts as the primary threat. Hoping that these will be quick movers. They'll get out of here, and then we'll see that sky starting to try to clear back out, at least be free of some rainfall throughout the duration of the evening tonight and then into the early morning hours on Sunday. Area wide, especially north of the I-70 corridor, anticipating an additional perhaps half an inch of rainfall with this. There may be some isolated spots that receive higher totals underneath some of those heavier downpours. Tomorrow, I think, especially during the first part of the day, we're going to have one more wave move through central and northern Indiana. That's going to take us through 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. That should wrap up. We'll see more dry time during the second half of the day on Sunday. This is through 3 p.m. Might see some further development to areas south, but that's going to be along the boundary. So this is 2 a.m. Monday. Once that moves out, I think starting Monday morning into the afternoon, and then a several day stretch here as we get into the middle part of the week. we will see a lot more dry time. So I wanted to show you the 7-day right now because I wanted to focus on something that will be encouraging, and that's the fact that more dry days are ahead. I'm checking in with the National Weather Service and our Hydrologic Center here in central Indiana as far as those updated river gauge levels. They are constantly changing. So I'm going to get the latest numbers there and we'll get you updated with that. But for now, we'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much. I know, busy morning here, and so we're trying to give you a look of the videos that our crews are shooting, and thank you to the viewers who are sending in images and videos like this. This particular video happens to come in from the police department in Fisher, sharing what they're seeing there, cars that are trapped in high water. Right now, they are working to evacuate people who are living along Wapahani Drive in Fisher.
And we also want to let you know 116th Street, that is also closed near Eller Road. Again, City of Fisher's monitoring all of these hot spots here as this flooding continues.
Yes, so that's up in the Conner Prairie area, just for a reference for you. And right now, city county councilors are stepping in to help prepare neighborhoods for the flooding today. John Barth posted this on social media that he and the Rocky Ripple Town Council working together to prep sandbags for that White River to crest.
They also went door to door in the area to let people know about these incoming high waters and to urge them to evacuate. So if you do have to do that, the Red Cross shelter on Westfield Boulevard is open. But if you have pets with you, you are asked to go to the Broad Ripple Park Family Center where they have accommodations there.
Also, there were some earlier posts about going to Hinkle Fieldhouse, and they were not able to confirm that that was open and available for a shelter. So please go to one of these other two locations, the Broad Ripple Park Center or the Red Cross shelter that's on Westfield Boulevard. Do not go to Hinkle Fieldhouse. Sure. All right, today, Indiana Governor Mike Braun is expected to give an update on the state's response and the recovery efforts amid the historic flooding that is underway right now across the state of Indiana.
And he's going one step further. He requested a presidential emergency declaration that would go through FEMA, and he is set to meet with Homeland Security leaders at 3 o'clock today. We are going to be there for that, getting that update if any of that's going to be changing.
Yeah, we'll have that here on 13 News. Also here in Indianapolis, the mayor, Joe Hogsett, declaring a local disaster emergency. Now, under this declaration, a travel advisory now issued for all of Marion County. Residents are asked to cooperate with public officials and disaster services by complying with all necessary measures. Basically, if you don't need to be out and about today, please don't, because it just adds to the traffic and confusion, and perhaps you would come up to one of these blockages. We don't want you to get into high water. We don't want you stuck, and we don't want you adding to some of the issues that rescuers are working with already.
And something that could change with that are the travel warnings and advisories. Right now, there are no travel warnings across the state. That's that red level, but there are some watches. Those are the ones you see in orange, Hamilton County, Tipton County, for example. Advisories in yellow. Marion County is one of those advisories all across the state. These are the areas, again, that we've seen all week hit the hardest by the rain here. Involuntary evacuation orders are also in place in Carmel, as well as some closures that have just been announced by the city.
That's right. So this is a post from the city. That's one of the ways that they're communicating to residents about what's going on in that community in Hamilton County. The word is, if you happen to live near River Road, specifically in Carmel, between 116th Street and 122nd Street, you are urged to consider evacuating. Areas highlighted in red there are the particular spots of concern. They say even right now, if your home isn't currently flooded, they urge you not to take the chance and wait it out. Get out now.
In one of those main spots, again, a new update, 126th Street and River Road. But we do want to take you to more video now of flooding above from Drone Cam 13. This is along the White River in the Ravenswood neighborhood, where you can see those washed out roads and cars sitting underwater this morning.
These communities were all asked to evacuate before more rainfall came down this morning. Hopefully that happened. The White River, as water levels are expected to crest at 20 feet near 82nd Street. We're creeping our way up there right now. Ashton Hackman joins us live in Ravenwood. And what are you seeing there, Ashton?
Yeah, good morning, ladies. As you mentioned, this is one of those areas that the city is urging people, if they are able to, to evacuate. As you can see behind me here, this is a very active scene. We're along Ruth Drive and Ralston Ave. This is in the Ravenswood neighborhood. As you can see, Indianapolis Fire is here. And over to the right here, we have divers with boats already on standby. We've seen them go up into those flooded areas, checking to see if there are residents who need to evacuate or need help getting out of those floodwaters. And we've also seen the National Guard here. As you can imagine, these floodwaters, the higher they get, the less vehicles that are going to be able to get through them. So the National Guard is here with heavier equipment. We've seen them go south in this neighborhood here, asking folks if they need help getting out. Again, this isn't mandatory yet, but with the river, the White River here in Ravenswood, expected to crest later tonight, and we just finished a batch of heavy rain, they are urging people, now is the time to get out if you are able to, because this area, we've seen it, where you go one direction, there's water there. You go another direction, there's also water. So your options of getting out of this neighborhood are pretty limited. So they are urging folks, if you are here, you have the means to do so, to get out while you can. And that's why Indianapolis Fire with boats is on standby to help people do just that.
Yeah, Ashton, you've been trying to get out and about on the north side today. Maybe explain a little bit how frustrating that's been as you've had to detour and reroute.
Yeah, we have been coming up to areas that are near the river where the water level is coming up, but we've also run into flash flooding, areas where that water has just sat. And so when we were going north towards Keystone to check out a possible water rescue, we came across roads that were completely covered in water. And I did hear from someone that I know that lives in the Keystone area, and she told me that she saw the water come up quickly, and now she's figuring out whether she needs to go because there is a one-way in, one-way out situation. So she's monitoring the situation on the north side, as are residents here in Ravenswood.
Yeah, I just can't think of what the advantage is of staying when you lead to more rescues that are along the way. So get out. And also, thanks so much, Ashton. And of course, your safety with you and your photographer is a priority too. So be careful as you're out and about.
Yes, for sure. And we want to show you some other flooding. Let's go to Yorktown this morning, where officers found a woman's body in the floodwaters. They believe she was trying to drive through moving water that covered a road in the area. They say that water swept away her car, and it's something law enforcement cannot stress enough how dangerous these conditions can be. Hey, Lindsay.
Guys, wanted to get you updated on some flooding we've got along the interstate. Check this out. They've got some lanes blocked on 65 southbound on the city's northwest side. This is near Old State Road 334, so kind of just south of that Whitestown exit coming up on 865. Flooding there. We also are seeing some heavy rainfall on the northeast side of town. Here's I-69 in Noblesville. We'll get you updated on the rain moving through this morning and potential additional rainfall.